Hi guys, my name's Tom Kelly. I'm the founder of BeeSafe Organic Lawn Care, and I want to thank you for taking some time today to watch a recorded version of our webinar. Typically during these webinars, attendees are able to ask questions throughout, and since you're not afforded the opportunity to do that, I encourage you to absolutely take note of any question you might have as you watch the webinar. We'll absolutely follow up with you afterwards, or you can feel free to contact us anytime. So take a couple minutes, enjoy the webinar, and we look forward to talking to you again soon. Good afternoon, guys. My name is Tom Kelly. Thank you for joining us on the webinar today. I want to let you know that the purpose of today's webinar is to give you as much information about the BeeSafe Organic Lawn Care Dealer Network opportunity as possible in as short a period of time as possible. And typically I'll go about 25 to 30 minutes, and my goal will to keep it less than that. So as I said, my name is Tom Kelly. You can follow me on Facebook or Twitter at these addresses. And as I said, the goal for today is to provide you with information about our industry, our system, our support. We'll talk about the characteristics for the ideal dealer applicator. We'll talk about the investment required to join the network, and we'll hopefully be able to determine, or you'll be able to determine if you or your company is a good fit for our particular program. At the conclusion of today's webinar, you should be able to clearly know if you'd like to take the next step in our discovery process. So let's go ahead and get started. A couple other things that we'll cover today. We'll talk about who we are. We'll talk about what our dealer applicators actually do on a daily basis. We'll talk a little bit about the industry and demand in regards to organic lawn care or alternative lawn care. We'll talk about some of the advantages in regards to the lawn care business model. We'll talk about the typical applicator profile, and we'll review several different existing current applicators. We'll talk about the investment involved to get on board with the dealer network. We'll spend a little bit of time talking about our programs and systems, and we'll discuss one product, and then we'll talk about the next steps involved with following through. So a little bit about the history of our company here is BeeSafe Organic Lawn Care operates under the parent company Natural Technologies Incorporated, and we are the sister company of Firebelly Organics. Firebelly Organics was a company that I started immediately after I got out of the chemical lawn care industry when I sold my company, The Lawn Dog, in 2009. I had worked on some of the strategy and products involved well before that. But after I ran Firebelly for a couple of years, I was able to partner with Natural Technologies in an effort to launch the BeeSafe Dealer Network. Our corporate staff is made up of several people here. You'll see them all on the screen. We also have several dealer advisors in-house, all to facilitate our growth over the next couple of years, and hopefully we'll continue to grow at a pretty good pace. We launched the dealer network in August of 2011, which really wasn't that long ago. I mentioned that I had launched a company called Firebelly Organics, and then I partnered with Natural Technologies at the beginning of 2011, and we spent a fair amount of time working on the model that would become the BeeSafe Dealer Network. At this point, we've got more than 60 companies as members of the network in roughly 25 states, so we're nationwide. Our goal is to bring on 100 members of the network and have 100 lawn and landscape companies be part of the BeeSafe dealer family in the first 18 months of our existence. Our goal is to be a recognized leader not only in organic lawn care, but in the lawn care industry as well. And I really feel like we were the first to kind of take this approach. We really want to be the largest, but our ultimate goal is to be the best at what we do. A little bit about what we do. The BeeSafe Organic Lawn Care Network specializes in residential and commercial organic lawn care. We offer our members of the dealer network the ability to provide several different programs to their customers. We've got a real premium or elite program, our typical standard program. We've got something called our Elements program, and we'll talk about how many of the members of our network have begun to use certain products, certain BeeSafe products in their standard or traditional program to replace some of the more costly inputs that they've got in there. It's important to note that I think our goal is to help our clients and customers have a nice lawn in a responsible and effective manner by providing them what they want. And I want to mention here that I think it's important that you never lose a sale or lose a customer based on your advocacy. And we are an organic lawn care service company. We specialize in organics, but we're realistic enough to know that when a customer wants you to do something, you need to do it. For instance, if you've got a customer that's got a lot of weeds that they'd like you to spray with a chemical herbicide, you should do it. It's always better to take one step backward to take two steps forwards, and you never ever want to lose a sale or a customer based on your advocacy. So let's talk about the industry and the demand for what we're providing here for a minute. The current state of the industry is certainly providing for a lot of opportunity. The lawn care service business is dominated by about 5 companies that operate under a chemical lawn care platform. None of them specialize in organics. Most of them will offer an organic program if you ask, but none of them specialize in alternative lawn care, which is interesting to most of us because in today's day and age, most customers or most consumers or residents or society in general wants to be more green. And it sounds almost like a cliche at this point. We're all much more environmentally sensitive. We're much more health sensitive in regards to chemicals. And if you take a look at organic agriculture and the size of the produce department in your grocery store that's labeled as organic, it's really grown incredibly in the last 5 years, tripled. And you look at the success of stores like Whole Foods, you can see how that's the case. It's also interesting because legislation is being passed all over the country, whether you like it or not, in regards to regulating the types of products that you as a lawn care service company can use on your properties, especially on school properties or municipal-owned properties. And municipalities are hiring alternative companies all the time, and it's not always a job that they're able to fill very easily. So the opportunity is certainly there. Take a quick look at the top 5 lawn care companies in the country, and it's very interesting to note that they account for 95% of the entire market share. So let me make that clear again. The top 5 companies that provide lawn care services account for 95% of the entire market share. Now, anybody who has any business sense at all takes a look at that and says, wow, what an opportunity to really have a big impact. And this is where I'd like to say that the BeeSafe brand does see this as an opportunity, although we go about it a little bit differently than most of the companies on this list. We are not an enormous privately owned service company. We're not a franchise business. What we are is we're a group or a network of similar thinking, similar-minded, progressive lawn and landscape companies operating under the BeeSafe brand. And we've really taken to the idea that we can have a big impact working with small to mid-size, independent, and really free-thinking companies to act on a national basis to splash into this list. So let's talk about 4 types of applicators that we have currently on board, and these are literally four companies that we work with every single day, but they represent different types of companies, and I think that you'll find that you fit into at least one of these categories. So Go Green Landscaping up in Scarborough, Maine. Scarborough is one of the municipalities that passed an ordinance to ban the use of chemical pesticides on municipally owned property. So Dave Malewski at Go Green Landscaping came to us, became a member of the network, learned our products and systems, and we worked with him to put together a bid to get the job. And long story short, he got a contract with the town of Scarborough to take care of all of the municipally owned and maintained turf in the entire town. And it is a very significant contract. It's upwards of $80,000 per year. And it was a company-changing sale for him. So perfect example of a small to mid-sized company that has taken advantage of a situation and literally changed his business and become very, very successful. Perfilon is a different example because many of you have probably heard of Perfilon. They are a very big and very well-established chemical lawn care service in New York and Pennsylvania. They've got offices in Buffalo, Erie, and Pittsburgh, and the Capotis brothers founded the company in 1979. They've been able to build their business to well over 15,000 customers, have been very successful, a couple of really good guys too, and they saw the fact that they needed to change to be able to continue to move forward. So, and being in New York as well, there is state legislation called the Child Safe Playing Field Act that prevents companies from using chemicals on school property. So Perfilon came to us. They were able to become members of the network. They protected a good-sized territory around all of their branches and converted. At this point, I think they've got well over 1,000 of their customers on the BeeSafe organic lawn care program with great results and great luck, and their goal is to continue to convert more and more all the time. The next company is a company called SafeGrown, which is a very small company down in Tennessee. A couple of guys were looking to do a startup and saw a great opportunity in the industry to provide an alternative and organic lawn care program. We typically don't deal with startups, but that's not to say that we don't under the right circumstances. So they launched their business last spring or 2 springs ago and have had very, very good success using the BeeSafe brand. Finally, a company called HydroGreen in New Jersey. Keith Hates will tell you that he's one of those companies that really will do absolutely everything, an absolute full-service lawn and landscape company, from maintenance to irrigation to construction. You know, the company that's really good at doing many, many things. And Keith was a skeptic for a long time, but he joined the network last year and has had great success. But the reason I put him here is because what he will tell you is that by bringing on the BeeSafe brand and offering the organic lawn care program, he opened up the rest of his services to a group of people that he typically wasn't going to be able to get in front of prior to doing it. People, wealthy customers that were looking for, this type of service, but also wanted him to handle many other aspects of their property care. And as I said, anything from construction to maintenance to irrigation, and he has grown exponentially, and he feels that it was as a result of bringing on the BeeSafe program. The business model has incredible advantages, and most of you guys probably already do offer a lawn care service program, but for those of you who don't and are looking to bring it on, we've talked about how organics or alternative lawn care is in high demand, and there aren't a lot of companies that are able to provide it as well as they should be able to. There is a higher margin because even though the products typically are about the same as a chemical cost, your customers are going to expect to pay a little bit more. We don't suggest that you charge twice as much or even 50% more, but 10 to 20% more depending on your market. You'll be able to charge a little bit more than your typical chemical program, which means a higher margin. The lawn care model is very predictable from year to year, from season to season. It's a transactionally intensive business, but it is absolutely a math equation. It's very predictable with a recurring and repeatable client base from year to year that refer their friends, neighbors, and family to join you as well. So it's a great business model. As we mentioned before with Keith at HydroGreen, it will open up many new markets to you if you're looking to diversify and sell additional services, and the upsell potential with these customers is incredible. So let's talk a little bit about what type of company we're looking for to become a BeeSafe dealer applicator. We don't just accept any company. We typically will take a look at your business and determine if you're a good fit. But here are a couple things that we like to see. We want to work with companies that are looking to grow and they're comfortable with change. So If you've reached a point where you're doing $750,000 and you just want to stay there, this isn't probably an opportunity for you to get involved with. We want you to be able to grow. We typically like to work with guys who are doing about $500,000 in revenue, but we, as I mentioned before, we have worked with startups in the past. Strong business acumen is very important. To be well organized operationally and have good self and corporate discipline. You can have the best products, the coolest trucks, you can have guys that work hard for you, but if you can't run a business, it's not going to make a difference at all. It also helps if you're passionate about lawns, passionate about your customers, passionate about the environment. These are all things that we think are important in growing a business, but you have to be okay with following a system, because that's what we're going to provide to you. Most of you have probably looked at organics in the past and found that there are hundreds and hundreds of products out there. There are new products that come on the market all the time. There are new products that go off the market all the time. And we've spent a real lot of time, energy, and effort in putting together a system that you can literally take and implement immediately. That's the whole goal of what we do. So if you're not okay with following a system, again, this probably isn't going to work for you. What do we want you to achieve as a BeeSafe dealer? Well, you should expect some things from us as well. You're going to get involved with something that should help you grow your business. But one thing we always talk about is the ability for a business model like this to provide stability to you and your business. We want to help you provide you with consistent top-line growth, which again increases stability. We want to help you provide. We want to provide you with consistent profitability. You want to be able to make money doing this, which again will help your business become more stable. A couple other things that we can help you with beyond just the line of products is budgeting support and marketing support and operational support. That's what we're all about. We're essentially a consultant for you to be able to run your business, all facets of your business, from product to operations. And a lot of things fall in between there, whether it's marketing or budgeting or planning. We certainly want to help you with that as well. What's the end game here? Our goal is to help you build value into your business. Your business should be worth a lot more 5 years after bringing on the BeeSafe model than it was prior to doing so. And whether your future holds something in terms of acquisition, and let's face it, that's how most of our industry works. Those top 5 companies got where they are by acquiring other companies. And perhaps that's what you're looking for. Perhaps you're just looking for long-term stability. Again, by pushing top-line growth and bottom-line growth, we can help you with either one of these goals. What's it take to become a BeeSafe authorized dealer applicator? Well, there is a fee to get involved, and let's talk about how that works a little bit. There are multiple tiers and there are multiple options with getting involved with the network. The initial dealer fee is $4,900. Some companies will get all in and spend as much as $24,000, but to start with, it's typically $4,900 to get into the dealer network. And let's review a couple of things that you get when you become a BeeSafe dealer member. You get access to the line of the BeeSafe proprietary products and systems, which is first and foremost. We have a line of products that we only sell to members of our network. They're very different than anything you'll find anywhere else, and we'll go into that a little bit down the road here. Legal access to use and display all of the BeeSafe logos and branding. People know that there's power in a brand, and there's trust in a brand. And on a national level, we expect consumers will recognize the brand and want to hire you. So the use of the brand and logos is very important. You also get a professionally designed suite of marketing collateral. We've got all kinds of brochures, estimate forms, door hangers, everything you can imagine that you can easily drop your information in, and sales resources, letters, scripts, presentation templates. Support with marketing is very important. We'll provide you with a media kit to get the word out to your local market that you're now offering this particular service. Again, ongoing marketing, operational support, and of course, vendor discounts on things that we don't manufacture. We've got some buying power, and we can help you get discounts on other products that you may use. Finally, we do a really, really cool 2-day training session here in Manchester, New Hampshire, where we've brought on some of the leaders in what we do, and Chip Osborne is one of them. If you don't know Chip, you should probably at least Google him. Chip is really the leading expert in organic agronomics nationwide. He works with municipalities and governments and private firms all over the country to help them convert the care of their turf to organic. We also typically will bring in Joe Cusick. Some of you guys know Joe. He's the owner of Real Green Services, which is really the leading software in the lawn and landscape industry. Joe does a great presentation in regards to marketing and how to market your service in a modern sort of way. The lawn care and landscape industry is known as being a little bit old-fashioned, and Joe kicks that into a modern type approach. And then we've got a couple other people that show up every once in a while. Dave Christensen, actually Dave's at every single one. Dave is a PR expert. He talks about social media. Again, it's so important to get the word out about what you're doing, and whether you're talking about marketing or advertising, branding, social media, so many different things. Dave is an expert in that. Dave Malefsky, Justin Haggerty, these guys are existing dealers who can help you figure out what to expect and how to implement this. And Dick Conley, who is the Director of Dealer Development here at BeeSafe Organic Land Care, will also typically speak. And myself, I do a good bit of the training talking about products and operations. So that's the initial fee to become a member of the network. However, the great majority of our applicators find that it's important to protect a territory. It's really the most popular benefit to becoming an authorized BeeSafe applicator. And this is something that we can talk with you about as we go through the process. And the cost for this goes up with the amount of territory that you protect. Typically, $9,900 will protect about 150,000 households. $14,900 will protect 250,000 households. If you want to discuss protecting more than that, we absolutely can as well. But it's important because you've got a niche, and you are the only person in that particular area that can provide a service that most other companies will have a real hard time doing. On those upper level dealer options, we'll also provide you with a couple other benefits. You get a customized, personalized BeeSafe website, which is important. Everybody needs to have a website. And with that comes a one-year subscription to mylawnquote.com, which is an incredible platform to help you grow your business and really streamline the marketing process. What the goal of My Lawn Quote is to reduce the sales process, whereas in the past it's a multiple step process, meaning a customer calls you or a potential customer calls you, you take their information, you go out to their property, measure the lawn, leave an estimate, come back to the office, follow up, and we all know that when things are busy, that could take a long time. So My Lawn Quote really, really streamlines that process, and you get a year-long subscription to that if you come into the network and protect some territory. If you want to look at some examples of BeeSafe websites, I put them up on the screen. A lot of our dealers actually follow through with this, so it's something that's important, and you can link it to your existing site. You can build it into your site. Marketing is important to us, and we want to help you as much as we possibly can. So in regards to territory, what are your demographics? We'll help you figure this out. This is something that you can talk to Dick along in the process. We'll determine how many single-family dwelling units. We typically try to do it by county. Doesn't always work out that way. We can do it by zip code, do it by town. But this is a process that we usually will discuss with you leading up to finalizing things. Okay, I want to take some time and talk about what we do in terms of the program and some of the products. And the BeeSafe Lawn Care System really offers our applicators a couple of different options. One, an elite organic lawn care system that you're not going to find anywhere else in the country and perhaps in the world. We'll discuss that. Our typical advanced organic lawn care system. We also help our applicators offer a transitional program, bridge program, or something we call our Elements program. And the majority of our members of the network also offer a traditional or standard or old-fashioned type lawn care program, and we can put together something that will really fit in with what you're trying to do. Also we like to talk about affordable organic inputs that are going to reduce the costs in your chemical program. We'll talk about that as well. It's very important to note that everything that we do revolves around 5 specific angles. We call it the 5-pronged approach. This is not a product-based lawn care program. This is not something to steal a phrase from my friend Chip Osborne. This is not based specifically on a bag, bottle, or box. This is a synergetic type program. Everything that we do is based on what we've done in the past and what we're going to do next. Lots of products work together synergistically. This is organic lawn care based on science, not based on some of the old-fashioned or first-generation type granular approaches. This is all science. So bionutrition, which is the introduction of beneficial soil-improving microorganisms. We want to help the soil food web improve and expand. And we do that not only by providing an environment for indigenous species of microorganisms to multiply, we actually have microorganisms in our products that all serve a specific purpose. Biostimulation. Your customers are unhappy when their lawns are stressed out. And naturally, lawns are going to get stressed out. And we use biostimulants to reduce that stress, to put the stress off, to minimize the stress, and when stress occurs, to bring it back to a normal situation faster. Organic fertility. We do require fertilizers. You need to fertilize your turf to help it look green and grow. So there are organic fertilizers. Chemical-free pest control. We don't simply ignore the fact that there are weeds and grubs and crabgrass and all kinds of other things. We need to address those. We don't ignore them. Finally, information and education is always key in helping not only your employees and yourself, but your customers and your potential customers. Let's talk about the ELITE program for a minute. The majority of our products revolve around the introduction of a select consortium of biological inputs. So what we can do with this ELITE program, and this is really in a state or large municipal type site, we will take a bioassay, which is a soil test to measure the biological life of the soil. We can literally take that report and manufacture products directly in our laboratory that will match up specifically with that soil on that specific site and help the plants that grow from that soil reach their true genetic potential very quickly. This is sort of based on the Harvard experiment that they did 5 or 6 years ago where they bioassayed the entire campus and were able to brew compost teas to improve soil biology to meet the genetic requirements of the turf that grows there. Our regular BeeSafe, we'll call it an advanced program. It's a standard and patent pending program. It's a 6-step liquid approach that revolves around the BeeSafe 5-pronged approach. There's very little transitional time in regards to implementing this program. Most customers will assume that when you do go organic, you need to allow for a 2 to 3 year transition time, and we want to minimize that as much as possible. And this program will help you transition lawns very quickly. In the case of sites that have been intensively treated with chemicals for a long period of time and there is no soil biology, the use of a granular application of organic fertilizer really to satiate the short-term nitrogen requirements of the turf can be done. Our elements program we mentioned a little bit. The BeeSafe Elements program takes a standard chemical program, which includes pre-emergence, post-emergence, insect controls at your discretion, will introduce elements of the BeeSafe program. The cost of implementing this program is actually probably less than what you're paying already for your standard conventional or old-fashioned program. And I want to always bring up the cost associated with this because it's very surprising to people when they see that we can put together a very, very effective elements type program for much more or much less money than you're used to paying in your chemical program. So I won't go into all of these products, but on average, the inputs associated with a 6-step program that would be considered an elements program, largely because some of the fertilizers contain urea, which is not an organically acceptable input because it's manufactured from oil, for less than $8 per 1,000 square feet per year. So guys, if you take a look at the costs associated with your traditional existing program, you really want to take a look at this as an option. The cost of our other programs, the Elite program we discussed, is a little bit more expensive, mainly because of product minimums. We can't make 10 gallons of a product or 5 gallons of a product because of the laboratory situation and manufacturing process. So we usually have to make at least 50 gallons of a particular product. So if you've got an enormous site, it could actually end up being less expensive per 1,000 square feet. But if you've got a smaller site, it's going to cost a little bit. You might have enough product to work for a couple of years. The cost of the bioassay plus the interpretation of the testing and the manufacturing will make it a little bit more expensive than your typical approach. Our standard advanced organic lawn care program, the 6-step process, will come in at under $13 per 1,000 square feet per year. And we can go into much more detail with that on a one-on-one basis. There are times where we can switch out inputs to try to save you money if you need to, usually later in the year, and we can get it down to as low as around $10 per 1,000 square feet, but that would be a budget advanced type program. I want to talk quickly here about one particular product, and I want to use this product to give you an example or an idea of what the entire program consists of. It wouldn't make sense for me to go over all of the products here because we simply don't have the time. So I'll take one product that's standard in all of our programs throughout the country, and it's important to note that we do have specific programs for northern zones with cool season turf grasses, specific programs for southern zones, warm season turf grasses, where we do a little bit of a different approach. If you've got clay soil, we've got products that will deal with that. If you're in the transition zone and dealing with some zoysia or some tall fescue, we deal with that as well. But Growth Activator Pro is a good place to start because it's common to every program and approach that we do. It's an all-natural product that's specifically formulated to enhance the biological activity in the soil profile. It's a biologically diverse microbial system that contains multiple species and strains of beneficial soil-improving microorganisms. This is a product that contains actual microorganisms to amplify the soil food web. It also contains a unique blend of bioactive microbial metabolites to further enhance the efficacy of the product. Here we look at the species and strains of microorganisms. Each one, and Growth Activator Pro has 60 strains of species of microorganisms that all have a specific purpose. Every single one of these microorganisms are there for a reason, and whether it's to help enhance plant growth or to find nitrogen in the soil and air or to help seed germinate more appropriately. It's designed to prevent stress from environmental extremes and improve the soil structure. To solubilize phosphorus. There's phosphorus in the soil that just simply isn't available to most turf. We can have certain things in here that suppress turf disease. So every element and input in this particular product is there for a reason. We've got about, I'd say at this point, probably 20 different products that we can go over with much more specifics later on, and we simply don't have time to do it now. But I hope I gave you at least a decent idea of what our program is made up of. We mentioned pest-free or pest control, dealing with insects and weeds, and you simply can't ignore them when you go organic. You have to take them on. Obviously, they'll remain an issue with all of your programs. So weed control, we use different products that you may have heard of before. Fiesta broadleaf weed control is a chelated iron broadleaf weed control that works really, really well and is accepted under organic standards throughout the country. A new product called Adios, which has just come onto the market last fall, is a post-emergent selective weed control for broadleaf weeds and for grassy weeds, so it controls crabgrass as well. We have a liquid corn gluten product that many of our applicators choose to use for a pre-emergent. It's very different than a granular corn gluten that you're probably familiar with. So the liquid gluten product really works very well. In terms of insect control, it's not news to many of you that there are very effective natural insect control products out there, and they've been out there for a long time. They just really haven't gotten a lot of play because we really fall back on pesticides more often than we should. So products like cedar oil and nematodes and neem oil and other botanicals really work very well with insect control. And you've heard me talk about running your business. It's very important that you continue to offer services that your customers want in terms of upsells. You want to be able to offer a preventative grub control treatment. You want to be able to offer a surface insect control treatment, ant, flea, and tick control. This is as much about running a successful and profitable business as it is the products that we use to deal with them. So finally, I want to talk real quick about how some of our products have fit into some of our members' chemical program. And Turf Soother immediately comes to mind. Turf Soother is a product that we manufacture that is really good for a summertime application. It's a combination of humic acid and seaweed. It's a great biostimulant. And I mentioned Perfilon earlier in the webinar. Perfilon, of their, I think, 16,000 customers, depend on them to provide them with a weed-free and strong, colorful lawn. And they ran into a situation like a lot of you guys did with weather last year, and that the heat and drought really had an impact on the quality of their lawns. They also realized that in the midst of that, they didn't want to apply a chemical fertilizer that could potentially cause more harm to their turf than good, and deal with leaching issues and all kinds of things. So they made the bold decision to apply one of our products to each and every one of their 16,000 chemical lawn care customers. And the great thing was that not even one single customer noticed. And that might seem a little bit strange, but it certainly or it's strange for me to be talking about it in that way, but it was a bold move for them to use an organic product on every one of their customers, really because of the fear of failure that sometimes is associated with these products. Not one customer noticed. Their lawns bounced back quicker as a result, and they were really happy with it. So another product, Growth Activator, that we talked about before, we've got research that suggests Growth Activator, as little as 5 ounces per 1,000 square feet, can help you reduce your chemical nitrogen inputs by up to 25%. So a lot of companies are taking a look at using some of these microbial type products to reduce their nitrogen inputs. Finally, I also think I mentioned the 2000 as part of the Elements program. This is a really, really great product. It's got nutrients derived from urea. Now, let's be clear, urea is not an acceptable input in an organic program because it's derived from oil. So you never want to present this product in your organic program. You want to be honest about it, but because it's biologically enhanced with a consortium of microorganisms that we've talked about before, the actual amount of nitrogen that you're going to apply is literally reduced, drastically, and you'll get the same type of results. So a lot of our products can be put right into your traditional program with great results. So we spent a little bit of time talking about the products in the program, but it really just scratched the surface. What we'll do is we'll send you some login credentials to what we call our due diligence site, and there'll be a link with the email. Your dealer advisor, the dealer advisor that brought you to this point, will set you up for this. It goes into great detail about all of our products, how they're strung together in terms of a program to where you are in the country in your particular conditions, and you can spend as much time as you want looking at the products. We've got lots of other great stuff on there as well. It is password protected because it's proprietary information. All right, we're about to wrap up here, but I wanted to mention a couple of our high-profile customers. We've been at this for a couple of years, and we've made great strides, and we're working with some pretty big accounts with incredible results. And I talked about the city of Scarborough, Maine, and Go Green Landscaping. Scarborough is an absolute success story in that they are one of very many towns that instituted legislation in regards to what lawn care services were allowed to use on their property, but one of few that were actually very successful in doing it. And that says a lot about Dave, his company, and the BeeSafe programs. The city of Scarborough, Maine has not used any lawn care chemicals for about a year now, and the turf looks incredible. We also work with Universal Studios, so if you're down in Florida anytime this off season on vacation and you happen to go to Universal Studios, check out the grass because it is maintained using the BeeSafe program. Harvard University, which is really, on a personal note, one of my most proud accounts. Harvard literally set the stage for the organic lawn care industry when they converted the entire campus to organic and were able to kind of create a closed loop type situation from compost to compost tea to turf. They now use our products on the entire campus. So Harvard Yard, one of the most famous stands of turf grass in the world, is maintained organically with BeeSafe products. We've got an applicator that works with the Little League World Series to convert their turf. They had a great year last year under some lousy weather and bad circumstances. We've got pictures of the Little League World Series parks that look really, really good. Now, those are our high-profile customers. Our goal by the end of 2013 through our dealer network is to treat 50,000 lawns with the BeeSafe program, and we're on track to do that, and we hope you're able to join us as well. So I want to thank you for taking the time to spend a little bit of time with me today to learn about the BeeSafe network and opportunity to take it to the next step. Your dealer advisor will contact you and set you up with a login and password to the due diligence site. If you'd like to talk about a protected territory, Dick Conley, who is the director of our dealer development here, his contact information is right here. Again, my name is Tom Kelly. Please feel free to contact me anytime by calling the office or sending me an email or any questions in regards to products and systems I can help you out with. So we'll wrap it up here. Thanks for taking the time. Hopefully we'll see you at our next training and continue on with our success.